All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Geek Garage podcast. I'm your host, David, and joined with me, as per usual, is my sexy and sultry co-host, Mr. Zach Wills. How you doing, Zach Wills?
Tender.
Oh,
Nice
yeah?
and
Tender?
tender. I feel it in my
Yeah.
plums.
I think that's a line that I usually say, right? Except I got it from someone else. So,
That came from Eastbound and
um,
Down. Will Ferrell.
oh, did it? Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another show. I think we've talked about that show. Maybe you brought it up, and I just haven't gotten around to it. You know what? I did get around to watching though that you recommended so many times was Righteous Gemstones.
Gemstones. Yep. Are you caught up?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I binged the whole thing
It's very good.
within a span of like 4 days. Yeah, it's so easy to get through. In a good way. Like, I mean, most episodes are only about 35-40 minutes
Mm-hmm.
long or so.
Yeah.
So, you don't have like 60-minute long episodes to contend with. Um, another, like, I honestly, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. But it's one of my favorite shows right now. The writing and
Mm-hmm.
directing team of David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, and I think the other common name that I see, Jody Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard of that person, but her name pops up in the credits a lot as a director and I think co-producer. But yeah, it's phenomenal. Like
Mm-hmm. I know it.
I've I've probably
knew it.
woken up everyone in my house from laughing so hard. Yeah. I mean, for those of you unfamiliar, it's basically like an evangelical family that's super rich because they run one of those like it's like a Joel Austin,
Olstein. Yep.
yeah, kind of scenarios where they have like a you know what
Mega
is it?
church.
Yeah, like a mega church, and so that's how they made all their money. And um, like I thought it was just going to be about like hypocrisy, basically, and there's definitely quite a bit in there, but that's not the central theme. And
Mm-mm.
I kind of thought that's what it was going to be, and the fact that it wasn't on top of like what it's actually about and how there's like so many different things at play is just yeah, uh, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So
Well, I'm glad. I
yeah,
know it's my favorite right now too.
yeah. So we are here today to talk about the Book of Boba Fett that just wrapped last week. Um, Zach, you excited to chat about this?
I actually am more than I thought I was going to be. I really got into this one.
Yeah, it was fun. So I have you seen or read anything in the form of like they're gonna do more seasons? Because I know you said you went down like a YouTube rabbit hole today. I was just curious if you came across anything that said like we're doing another season, because I haven't seen anything like that
I
yet.
don't know. I don't know how you would. I'm not as versed in the storyline as most people because
Hmm.
I can't approach this as a diehard Star Wars fan, and I
Yeah, this
just
is
opted not to because I think it would be insulting, frankly, and it's
yeah,
it's just too much work.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up. This is a good time for a good disclaimer of this is by a couple of casual Star Wars fans. And what I mean by casual is that we like Star Wars. We love Star Wars. Do we watch every single thing that Star Wars and Lucasfilm has put out? No.
Or
Have
read
we
every single thing.
have we read all of the books that came out after the original trilogy? Nope. Have we read the comic books? No. Do we want to do all that if we had the time? Absolutely. At
That would
least
be great.
Yeah, I would, but yeah, this conversation will is brought to you by a couple of casual Star Wars fans. We both love the franchise, but like, I was also watching some YouTube videos today, um, just trying to catch some things that I didn't pick up on. There were,
Mhm.
and like everything that I did not pick up on for the most part was like tie-ins from other stories and pieces of lore within the Star Wars universe. We were kind of
Mhm.
talking about this a little bit before we hit record, but like there's a lot that uh, that happened in the Clone Wars that apparently they pulled into this.
There's a lot that happened in a lot of different segments of the fan fiction, I guess. Like you're not only pulling from Clone Wars, you're pulling heavily from Mandalorian. You're pulling
Mhm.
heavily in a lot of little ways from the original trilogy too, and even the prequels. Like no kidding, if you actually tried to map out in a timeline of everything that played out up to this and then moving beyond this, because there is a timeline that goes beyond this in the
Mhm.
form of like the latest movies. This kind of like squeezes in between, I gather. You would
Uh,
have to be a Star Wars historian, I guess. I don't know. Do they need me? Nope. Okay, they're good. You'd have to be some kind of really, really devoted fan because it's too much. It's too much. It's
yeah,
I could never pretend to do that.
yeah, it's a lot, but what we can talk about and discuss and dissect, we will be doing that on this episode. So, strap your balls in, kid, because we're
Don't I can't strap my balls into anything right now except this
uh,
jock strap they got me wearing.
yeah, you had a little outpatient surgery the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the old snipperooski.
Yeah.
No
So no
more
more
no more
kids,
kids for this guy.
just one and done, eh?
Yeah, we're one and done. Neither of us want another one. One is a tremendous amount of work. You might hear it screaming behind me when my poor wife tries to
Yeah.
wrangle a 2-year-old.
It's a good thing that our key demo is millennials, and millennials have kids now. I think we have some listeners that understand that
Yeah.
we have kids, and sometimes they make noise.
I actually
Um,
tried to reach out to some people just asking about the format of the podcast, and I reached out to one guy, Graham. Graham, if you're listening, you didn't respond. Thanks, Graham. Also, I'm
Thanks.
really sorry about the message I sent you. I had to send like a disclaimer. Sorry, this is a broken message. I have a toddler jumping on me.
Hilarious.
And he never responded anyway. So
Uh,
I don't value your input anyway,
oh,
Graham. Take that.
yeah. Screw you, Graham.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I so yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but we have some geeky news to go over. We're going to do um a little mini nerdy news update, but it's really just like movie trailers, TV show trailers, and movie and TV announcements basically.
Mm-hmm.
um so this is in no kind of order. This is just the order that I thought of them in. So just today they announced a bunch of Stranger Things information. Did you read any of this,
No, I
Zach? Or
just saw the poster. I didn't see anything else about
okay,
it.
yeah. So Stranger Things season 4, it's being broken up into 2 volumes. What's cool about it is that they will come not too far away from each other. So I believe it's May 28th. I believe the first volume drops, and then on July 1st, only like a month later, we'll get the second volume.
Okay.
So that's pretty sweet. Also, really cool is that it is not the last season. I think a lot of people, including me, were under the impression that this was going to be the last season. I
Yeah, if
think
you're gonna
because they,
Deathly Hallows it,
I think because they said this is going to be the last season. Um, maybe it was just is still conjecture at this point, and it was one of those fucking clickbaity articles that was like, "This is going to be the last season," and then you click on it, it's like it might be the last season. It's like
Also, buy these
you.
boner pills.
um yeah, so that's really cool that it is finally coming. We've been waiting for like 2+ years for a new season, and it's going to come in 2 volumes, and then we'll get a 5th season after that. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Better Call Saul, season
Yeah.
5. That will be the final season. Um, you and I think we might be the only people
On
that
the
we
planet.
well, so when I saw the announcement on Facebook, or the first it was the 2 promos, and there was a lot of
Mhm.
comments in there. So clearly, a lot of people really enjoy the show. I don't know of anyone that talks about it. Um,
Not really. No, it doesn't get the hype that Breaking Bad gets, even though it should.
mhm.
To me, it's every bit as good.
Yeah, I actually enjoy it more than Breaking Bad. It's a little bit lighter. It doesn't.
Mm.
It still has plenty of like heavy dramatic moments, but in my opinion, it's just not as much of a soul sucking downer as Breaking Bad is. Like Breaking Bad is an amazing show, but it's a terrible show to binge. Like Breaking
It's
Bad,
a heavy watch.
yeah, that show came out in the late 2000s before binge watching was a thing. So now like people are like kind of like The Office and Parks and Rec, like people are rediscovering or discovering for the first time Breaking Bad,
Mm-hmm.
and they're binging it. And I'm like, this is not a show to binge. This is like watch one, maybe 2 episodes a day, and then go watch something else for like 3 or 4 days, and then come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, so Better Call Saul final season, that is coming on 4/18. So that's pretty cool. We got our first Jurassic World Dominion trailer. Finally, been waiting not so patiently for that. Um, and yeah, pretty excited about that. I recently have you are you a Jurassic Park fan, Zach?
Yeah, as much as anybody could be. I love the
Mhm.
original, always have, and I've loved all the new age stuff with Chris Pratt. Super
Yeah.
fun. Really want to get on Velocicoaster. If I have a chance when
Hmm.
you're down here, you got to get on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a must do. It's supposed to
Yeah, for
be
sure.
really really cool.
Yeah, and they just added that the raptor like exhibit where they have like the puppet, the raptor puppet, and they kind of make it look like a like a show where you can come
Oh,
up
I've
and like
seen that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pet the
yeah, yeah.
raptor.
Right, right.
It looks. I've heard it's pretty fun. So
Pet,
we'll see.
pet the raptor. Sounds like something you do in
Yeah,
the parking lot.
maybe
Why,
that
why
too.
are why are his pants down? I don't feel safe.
Right. Let's see. So, Peacemaker just got renewed for season 2. I think that happened yesterday. That would have been. Let's see. Today is what, Thursday? So Wednesday, the 16th.
I never saw
Um,
season one. Was it good?
it's still actually the finale just came out today. The season 1 finale.
That's the
I
John
like.
Cena thing, right?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I would suggest watching Suicide Squad beforehand. I think originally, or it was either you or Ted that I was talking to. Those of you who don't know Ted, old co-host, he
May
was
he rest in
asking.
peace.
He ain't dead. He's just busy.
I miss
Um,
him. God, I miss
yeah,
him.
but he was asking if watching Suicide Squad was heavily dependent on understanding what's happening in Peacemaker. And initially, I was like, you could probably skate by with like just a YouTube recap, and that is probably still possible. But like, I don't know, it's probably a good idea to watch the Suicide Squad first. The James Gunn one that just came out like last year,
Okay.
not the David Ayer one,
Hmm.
or the one that David Ayer tried to do and then it got hijacked by the people that cut the fucking trailer. That's a whole other story. Um, Anyways, Umbrella Academy season 3 was it was kind of sort of announced. We just got a bunch of promo posters for it, basically. Um, there's kind of sort of news for the Marvel stuff that was on Netflix. So Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. So nothing has been announced set in stone for those four minus the Punisher. But they did announce, I think yesterday or the day before, that the Punisher will be moving to Hulu. So I believe they will put both seasons that were on Netflix. Those are moving to Hulu, and then the new season of Punisher will also be on Hulu, which makes sense because I believe Hulu is a Disney company. They were acquired by Disney. Um,
Really? Disney owns everything.
they really do. So yeah. Did you see that they changed the Punisher logo?
No, did they? Why?
Yeah,
The
it
whole
was
thing of it being pirated?
yeah, being co-opted by the police. With the it would be, so it's the Punisher logo,
Sure,
but
sure.
in between like one of the teeth or whatever, it's like the blue stripe. And it's like, do you not fucking understand the point or anything about the Punisher? Like, do you understand what's going on here? I don't think you do.
I
Um,
never was I never experienced the Punisher's the content, the movie, anything like that. But even I knew
mhm.
that wasn't the point. That wasn't. And if I, a pedestrian, could figure that out,
Yeah, the Punisher fucking kills cops, not exclusively, but without prejudice.
yeah, I think y'all were missing the point on that one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then we got a bunch of stuff during the Super Bowl this year. Won't go over all of it. Lord of the Rings was a big one. The Rings of Power, the series that's supposed to be on Amazon Prime
That
come
trailer got a
this
lot of
September.
flack. I haven't watched it yet because I'm scared to. Have you watched it?
I did. It looks really pretty, but there really isn't a whole lot to it. I think
Okay.
it really falls more in like the teaser trailer category,
Okay.
um, or maybe
Because
somewhere in
everybody,
between.
I don't know, man. It's like, you know how it is. Every community has its neckbeards, and they were all losing their shit over
Yeah.
the just the stupidest parts of it.
Mhm.
So I've been afraid to watch it, honestly.
Yeah. I think those are mainly people that take Tolkien like way too seriously
I
and
guess I don't know.
just are already under the assumption that nothing is going to live up to their expectations, and are just determined to get all pissy already. Um, so,
Yeah, this is why I like being a casual fan of everything.
right. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then the last thing, Futurama. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, there was some drama over the guy who was supposed to voice Bender not coming back. I guess it was a pay discrepancy issue. Like they
Yeah,
couldn't get the rates ironed out, so he just opted not to go. Is that what happened?
I think so. I think that's the 1,000 foot view. So,
Okay.
oh man, what is his name? I totally forgot. Anyways, it's the guy who voiced Bender, and at first I was like, all right, everyone, like, pump the brakes. Let's let's wait for more information to come to light before we get all bent out of shape about the fact that he's not coming back. Like,
Hmm.
we know that he's in the middle of a couple other projects, like multiple projects at the moment. So maybe he has a prior contractual agreement that he has to, um, you know,
Honor.
exactly. And but no, I don't think that's the case at all. What you said is pretty much correct. That they could not come to a financial agreement, which is bullshit because you know that that guy deserves every single penny that he was asking for.
I would assume, I don't know what he was asking for, but I mean, I try to remember this, and I don't know if people think about this. And the only reason I know this is because I listen to like a lot of people in entertainment, mostly comedians, who have to like make specials. If you're gonna make a thing, whether it be a special or a show, you have to get 1,000 people to all agree on something. It is
Hmm.
incredibly difficult, and salary negotiations and pay scales are a part of that negotiation. And a lot
Right.
of times, I gather just from what I've heard, that's what holds things up.
Yeah.
So, the fact that somebody isn't coming or they couldn't get this person, it's not like shocking to me. It's a bummer, but like if they couldn't work it out, they couldn't work it out, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But like, just understand that you literally have to get so many people to agree on one thing to make
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah, the fact that they got so many people from the original cast to come back already is mind blowing. Like I clicked on the article that it was the original article that said like, "Hey, Futurama is back." It was the day before they announced that he wasn't coming, or like I guess the day after they announced that Futurama was coming back. That's when it started to click for everyone that oh yeah, like I think his name John DiMaggio. Um, he's not coming back, but like 6 or 7 of the original cast or not cast voice actors are coming back, and I was like, holy shit, like that's a lot, like the big names.
Yeah, for a show
Um,
that old.
right. And I'm pretty sure those people like it's not like it's not a situation where they've been out of work. Like I mean, maybe a couple of them have been not so busy, but yeah. Anyways, don't want to spend too much time on that because we
It's
could
fine.
go
It's only been 25 minutes.
exactly. Should we get to our actual fucking topic?
Do 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 do.
Yeah, you got that theme song going on.
I love that.
It's a good this theme and the Mandalorian theme is god, it's so fucking good. It like just solidifies the whole like space western thing. Like
It is so good. Yeah.
that is what these shows are. The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. They're space westerns, and
Yeah. If dude,
that's why I
like,
fucking love them.
you're exactly right. Like, if you, and I'll just fucking start. Like, if you are a sci-fi fan, it's for you. If you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't delved into like the new age stuff, shut up and just do it because it's amazing. If you love The
Mhm.
Mandalorian and you haven't watched it yet, you have to. If you're a Western fan, if you like the Westerns, this is for you. If you're
Yeah.
a crime mafia movie fan, this is for you. If you're an action adventure fan, this is for you. Like, no kidding, this hits everything, man. It's for a pedestrian viewer who's not deep into the Star Wars world like I am. This hit everything. I got so into this, and it made
Yeah.
me want to get into the Star Wars universe more, which I feel
Mhm.
like is a service to not only the product but the community as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Princess Bride of like Star Wars stuff. Like the Princess Bride fills out like every single friggin' movie genre that there is. Somehow, some way it does that. And just like you
Okay,
said,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett does that as well. Very impressive.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Everything that Favreau touches so far that I've paid attention to, like through like the Marvel stuff, I never used to pay attention to directors, writers, producers.
Sure.
But every time I see Favreau's name, I'm a fan.
Mhm. Yeah, he did Elf. which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I have a fucking elf shirt that I wear.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you? Really?
Halloween elf.
Yeah. Um so let's see. Do we want to talk like, general thoughts and feelings, or do we want to hit anything specific, like, you know
I don't know. This is hard because how do you approach it as a general fan? I can't get into like too many specifics because it's simply too much for me to remember. Like I could have
right.
taken like super detailed notes and gotten into like all these rabbit
Mhm.
holes about these specifics from Clone Wars and the original trilogy and all that stuff, but it wouldn't have sounded right coming from
Yeah.
me because I'm
If the
not that
pot
guy.
Yeah, if the podcast was our job, then no problem.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
we would make it, the act of researching would become part of our job. But since we receive very little money, thanks to our Patreon donors, we do receive some money. Um,
Very
but
nice. Thank you very much. And for everybody else, it's $3. You're not gonna miss it, and maybe these shows will get better.
Yes, maybe no promises.
No promises.
Hey, thanks to our Patreon donors, we were able to fully cover our hosting costs for this calendar year,
That's awesome.
um, without having to go into our own individual pockets, which is
Cool.
pretty cool because our hosting fees are not cheap. So it costs money to have your podcast on the interwebs. So
So hey, can I just say like one of my favorite things about the whole show, and it's like a
please
silly
do,
one,
please do.
the Henson-esque puppetry that came into
Oh
the
yeah.
Bantha. I love the Bantha puppetry. And I know like in the original, I think whatever movie it was, they had like an elephant that they covered in like fur, and they gave it like this long front like beard hair to cover the trunk, and you can kind of see it. But the Bantha puppetry was so cool. And I think they had like a designated person for the tongue in that scene where
Oh
he throws
really?
it he has like this, it looks like a big turkey leg or something like that, but he throws it into the mouth. But that was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good, and yeah, they looked very realistic. I did notice that a lot of people were giving shit to some of the CG, especially the twins, the Hut twins,
Yeah. They did,
which
what didn't they like about it?
the fact that the CG just didn't look what they thought should be the quality that it should. But it's like first of all, relax. Okay.
I thought it
Second
looked
of
great.
I did too. I didn't have a problem with it. I'll be honest, it didn't take me out, but I did notice like it was not subpar, but it was I was a little taken aback. However, this is not like one of the trilogy movies. Like part of the Skywalker saga. So they're not
Uh-huh.
going to dump like trillions of dollars into the CG to get it to look the best.
Yeah.
Um,
The
they
budget
they
on
don't
this,
have the budget.
I mean, it was such that you got to be so picky in the scenes with Luke and Grogu in
Mhm.
episode 6, I think it is. It's like all them, right?
Yeah.
They had to choose lines for the person who was the actual Luke character that
Hmm.
were such that they didn't have to animate so much on his face. So he was making more like K's and B sounds and avoiding like T's and S's that were up close facial shots. Like that's the
Mm.
detail they put in to making it because it was harder to make those on a face that was making like T's and S's where you have to like move the lips and things like that. But the things that are like in the back of the throat, the B's and the K's and all that stuff, like D's, like all the stuff that you don't have to work so hard on, they had to work
Yeah.
that into the writing. And some of like the scenes where he's speaking, you'll notice is like further away for that
Right.
reason.
And you also notice that he's like super zen and calm. Like, granted, yes, he's a Jedi and he's in the middle of like one of his first Jedi pupils, Padawans.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, but like, I mean that is, you know, I'm glad you brought up the writing. That's an excellent part of the writing for this show.
that's my boy
Is
Favreau.
Yeah, is the Luke parts that, like, and also about Luke, like, holy shit, have they come so far with the face swapping and the de-aging and everything. Like, I was so incredibly impressed. Like, when I realized that they were going to actually have Luke again, um, I was a little scared that that it was going to not look great and take me out of the show and be super
Right,
distracting.
but it
And
didn't though.
I was distracted, but only because of how goddamn good it was. I
I
was
know.
like just wide mouth, like a fucking jackanape. I was just like, I can't believe how friggin' good it looks.
It was
Like,
so good. It was so good, man. Everything
yeah,
about this show just kept me in it. Nothing lost me. Nothing lost me. Not
yeah,
the story, none of the acting, none of the like the practical effects, none of the
right.
CG stuff. None of it lost me. It was so good.
So, what did you think about the going back and forth between the storyline of Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah.
and making or getting captured by the Tusken Raiders,
Uh-huh.
and then befriending them over time, and then it jumping back and forth between that and present day? What did you think about that time swap, or back and forth action?
Well, first of all, I love the back and forth because it forced me to think about like the Mandalorian timeline and how it bled into this.
Mm,
And like
yeah,
he didn't like befriend them, like he had to win them over, and it was straight luck. Like it was he had to prove himself in the desert with that youngling. But
yeah.
if I will say this, if you hadn't watched season 2, episode 6 moving forward, I think it was where they introduced Boba Fett
Mhm.
in the Mandalorian, that would actually behoove you to do that because that gives you at least that little bit of insight of the origin of Fennec. Is that her name? The Master
Uh,
Assassin,
yeah, Fennec.
Fennec, and how she wound up in the desert and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
um, I I actually liked that storytelling. It didn't. It confused me at first. Like episode 1, they didn't have me because I was like, this is a little confusing and I'm having a hard time following it. But if
Sure.
you can get through that and get to episode 2, you don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to keep up and enjoy it.
See, that is one of the things that has me hooked in regards to storytelling with TV shows, especially stuff that's episodic nowadays. You know, so like pretty much everything on Disney Plus. Anything else that gets released episodically anywhere else, HBO Max is another one. But let's see, what's another example? I just thought of one. WandaVision. A lot of people were complaining about the first couple of episodes and how they had no idea what was going on. And I was like, those were some of my favorite episodes. Like, I
Interesting.
mean, first of all, like, I loved TV from that era, but also like I I am the person left in the dust when it comes to like Marvel stuff, like and DC, really pretty much everything. You know,
Hmm.
like because all my like hardcore uh, uh like Marvel and DC and just comic book reading people, they know what's going on. But I felt like when WandaVision was there, like, and it was first starting out and you had no idea what was going on, and like we were all kind of like a united front, but people still found something to bitch and complain about. And the fact that they had no idea what was going on.
I
Um,
mean, look, you know what you're getting into when you get into like a Marvel product. Fucking Loki. Loki is a
mhm.
fantastic show, and you don't have to be super informed about what went on before. Granted, it definitely helps. Like if you don't know what an infinity stone is or whatever, but it stands alone. Boba Fett stands alone.
Hmm.
WandaVision stands alone. And I like that they're making a product that you can just jump into.
Yeah.
Because, like it or not, as popular as excuse me, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, all this stuff is, you still need to make that product that stands alone that somebody can get into off the bat because it's intimidating. If you want to
Yeah.
really go back and learn all the lore that led up to Book of Boba Fett and what moves beyond that, that's already existing in the Star Wars universe, in the
Yeah.
New Age stuff,
It-
no,
It's like
no,
it's like, all right, how much time do you have? Do you
yeah,
have
you're
a
giving
week?
you're giving them a job. Nobody wants a fucking job for their entertainment. They want to be able to sit down and watch, and they're doing such a good job with it.
Yeah, I mean, and they have to, like with Star Wars and Marvel and DC even now, like they have to do a good job with making things continuous and flowing seamlessly from everything that's come before it and flow into everything that will come after, but at the same time be able to stand on its own to a certain extent so that the people that just want to see that movie or maybe got dragged along by a loved one or what have you, that they will still get something out of it.
And it,
Now, will they understand 100% of what's going on? No.
no, no,
um but I mean, like, I've seen every single like MCU movie, but there's still plenty of shit that goes over my head.
of course.
um because I am an idiot. Um,
But
so,
here's the fucking rub. If you were somebody like me who knew Star Wars existed just from cultural osmosis, and you got into Book of Boba Fett, and it stood alone on its own,
mhm,
and you actually went back and tried to learn and realized the amount of effort and detail and credit they did to the original content, you've
mhm,
created such a rich universe. No shit. I went back and watched people who made it their job to understand how this universe works, like on YouTube.
mhm.
I am impressed beyond anything
Yeah,
that they paid that much attention, that much tribute, and worked in that much detail that I would have never picked up on. And I didn't have to pick up on it to enjoy it. But the
right.
fact that it made me want to learn more, and then I come back to this and it makes
Mhm.
that product that much richer, holy shit, that is a master class
Yeah,
in production and direction and writing and all that stuff.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's a very rewarding experience. Is like you don't have to initially go back and watch stuff that has happened before, like Clone Wars, and then come back to this. Um, you just get at it over time, and then like just watching things slowly start to click, and you're like, oh, references here and here and here, like, and putting puzzle pieces together, like it's super rewarding in that way.
Oh,
um
it's definitely the long game.
yeah, yeah, for sure. What So I guess, let's see. um I was thinking, like, should we cover more Boba Fett stuff before we pivot to the brief intermission with the
Yeah,
Mandalorian?
sure.
Let's see. What do I have for other talking points here? Um, so we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but one of the things that I really enjoyed about this and the Mandalorian is that, like, they are continuing to prove that there is more than one way to tell a Star Wars story. Like, like the trilogy films have like a certain look and feel to them. They have a certain tone, and that's all well and good, but, like, what about these? What about the Clone Wars? Like, how should they look and feel like? And I love the fact that they all of this takes place within the same universe, but tonally it's much different. Like we said, these shows are basically space westerns. They are westerns that take place on Tatooine, basically. um I also love the fact that this, for the most part, all took place on Tatooine. um I thought it was very self-contained in that way, and it
Hmm.
was much easier for the audience to keep up with, especially people like me who have trouble with the fine details and remembering all the ins and outs of this universe and all the characters and stuff, and haven't seen stuff like the Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot. But I thought that was really cool. Is just the
Ex-
fact that
yeah.
there's so many different ways to tell stories.
And this one was all contained. So like each one has like its own flavor. Each movie has its own flavor, but this one to me just felt like it felt like watching The Godfather. Everything was contained. Everything was divided up between, I'm going to call them families, but it was
Hmm.
regions or different crime
Yeah,
families or whatever.
yeah,
It
kind of.
was like watching a Scorsese. I, I loved
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for that alone.
yeah. That's actually a really good way to put it. Like I think if they had maybe a couple more episodes, they could have leaned pretty heavily into the whole families thing.
Oh, they
I
absolutely could have.
I would have liked to see a little bit more of that and a little bit more of like the betrayal, because you really just kind of hear about it. Um, and then you see it like when shit starts like literally blowing up. They're like,
Right.
oh, okay, well, and then you find out that it wasn't the speed bikers that torched the Tuscan Raiders little commune. It was
Right.
in fact the syndicate, or right, the
The Pikes.
Pikes,
Yeah.
or okay,
Yeah.
yeah. um and I was like, oh shit. Like
Yeah,
they
they
talk,
just made it look like it was the speed bikers
right,
because they
yeah.
knew he would fixate on that and he would consider the matter settled because they had to take out the Tuscans because they were
Hmm.
actually posing a threat because of his involvement in him training them, I guess it was because they had never been on a fucking speeder bike. No, you remember that scene where he's trying to like train them to ride and they have that
Right,
comedic
yeah.
moment where he wants to go forward but he goes back. It was fun, but that
Y- yeah, I loved those first couple of episodes when he kind of gets adopted into the Tuscan Raiders and they start to become friends, and like they're still like really aggressive towards him,
yeah.
but they're like in a good way. Like they they're like, this is the fucking you're in the shit, bro. Like we're
Well,
in the desert.
it's one of those things. They're fucking desert people, dude. Like
Yeah,
only the strong survive with them. They treat their
yeah,
children like that.
yeah. They have to be
They're n-
ruthless.
yeah, they have to be. And like, if you were gonna fucking die in the desert, they're not gonna take up for you. But I mean,
Hmm.
he goes out with the youngling and they're digging for those melons. What do they call those melons? The black melons
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
or whatever it was. And that other what is that creature that that fucking narked on him when he was trying to escape with the ropes and the dog, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. He's like, you could have helped me.
They couldn't help. So they were out there digging for those melons, and what do they find? They find that six-armed Goro creature that goes down on
Dude,
two, but he's got the four on top. You know what I mean?
dude, that
It,
that that thing was so cool. Like when he
it was
popped up,
so terrifying.
yeah. I was like, holy shit. Like
That was
you
such a
say
wild
Goro, like
Well, because he could be up on his two and he's got his four, but then he
right,
can go
yeah.
down on four and he's still got his
Yeah.
two uppers and he can like run like super fast like a fucking centaur or something
Yeah,
like that.
I thought that was a really cool choice. I don't know if this creature in particular has been on display in other pieces of Star Wars lore, but uh,
I
I
think
mean,
this one was actually original to this. I don't know if this one's been introduced before
okay. Well, either way,
from what I saw. But
I
what
thought
I
that
was
was
getting at Yeah,
Yeah,
but
go
what I
ahead.
was getting at was because the only reason he was accepted into the Tuscan tribes is because he actually managed to kill this fucking thing and save the youngling, and then he actually got to be trained by that
Hmm.
female warrior who was an absolute badass with the what I don't know what they call that staff, that traditional staff that they have.
It's got a funky name. I can't
I don't know what
remember
it
exactly
is.
what it is.
Yeah,
One of the YouTube videos that I was watching, they said what the name of it was, and I meant to write it down, but the name of it sounded so funny. I was like, I don't even know how to spell it. I don't know
right.
how
Well,
it would be spelled. So
whatever you call that, but they gave him like his beginner stick, I'll call it. They gave him his beginner stick, right? And then
yeah.
he progresses through and he's finally accepted and he's finally able to train because, like, okay, this guy's useful. We can work with him. And
Hmm.
then it parallels that sort of Jedi mindset that they have to make their own lightsaber from a crystal that they harvest themselves, right? So
Right.
there's the parallel between the Jedi and the Tuscan, and then moving into like the Mandalorian, obviously. But
Yeah, yeah, and they even said in the part in the episode where it's basically all Mando, he talks about how the Jedi and the Mandalore are like, oh, I forget exactly how he said it. Like they were not friends, but like they have very similar belief systems.
there was one moment he was with the what do they call the weapons forger? What do they call her?
Um,
Oh my god.
man, I meant I started gathering all the names for the characters because I knew I was like we were gonna
I can't. It doesn't matter, but whatever they call her in the scene where he fights the dude on the bridge for the blade,
right.
but whatever they call her, but they actually do a sort of compare and contrast between the Jedi way and the Mandalorian way, and they find that they're actually opposite. That's when we see like this juxtaposition because that was a weird word. Um, the Mandalore is more isolated and loyal, and what do they say the Jedi is? The opposite of that. I can't remember the verbiage, but the Jedi way and the Mandalore way. And the concern was, I think, the way Grogu is going to be trained
Hmm.
because those ways were actually opposite. And he wanted to
Interesting.
give him his little metal sweater.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. The chain mail kind of looks like.
his little mithril type thing.
Yeah, yeah. It did kind of remind me. Chainmail is a little bit clunkier, so
Yeah.
it did. It looked like Mithril. Um, Yes, so I guess we kind of naturally pivoted to the Mandalorian stuff. So, how about that fucking dark saber?
Yeah. I don't know enough about that. And they really left us kind of hanging at the end of this because they didn't resolve how he's going to wield that thing, did they?
I'm pretty sure that was intentional. It that's just my guess, but we're soon to get another season of the Mandalorian, so um, he obviously still has possession of the dark saber, so um, I'm assuming that we will see it in action a lot more going forward.
Yeah, well, they inserted it into the final episode and it like saves the day at some point, which they wanted to keep it in your mind, I guess, from a
Hmm.
writer's standpoint, but they didn't resolve anything about how he's going to fix his struggle to actually wield the damn thing because
Hmm.
that's the problem
Right?
is
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
who picks it up and tries to fight it, it like gets super heavy and it's really cumbersome and they actually try to fight the saber more than their opponent. That was the thing with him fighting that dude on the bridge or whatever they
Right.
were on. The
Yeah,
guy
and you
picked it
could
up and he was yeah,
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 you could
yeah.
see he was struggling with it too.
Oh, more
Um,
so, more so. Like as soon as the opponent picked it up, he was like they really made him like really struggle to pick it up initially, even though Mando he could somehow wield it. This guy, as soon as he touched it, it was like nothing. He wasn't getting it off the ground almost.
Yeah, he might as well be swinging around like a 500-pound mace or something.
Yeah, it looks silly, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. But they really
Yeah.
left it. They left that open, so I guess we're gonna learn.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to another season of The Mandalorian. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm looking forward to that and seeing more of the dark saber. What did you think of Grogu's decision to leave his Jedi training and go chill with Mando or Din Djarin, however you want to call him? I guess his given Christian name is Din
His
Djarin.
Christian, his
Yeah.
Christian name. Mm, it felt good, but I don't know.
I was a little
Something
surprised.
something tells me that little dude is going to end up swinging that dark saber around, and I kind
You
of
think
wanted it
so?
to happen. I kind of think so. Like I wanted that moment where um, Mando falls and the saber goes skidding across the ground, and he does this little paw thing where he holds it
Hmm.
up and then it comes. I don't know. I kind of thought that was going to happen, but I don't know. As far as him choosing Mando over the Jedi training, I don't. I mean, it had to happen, right? He had to come back in, and it made the audience feel good, and it made me feel
Hmm.
good. But I don't know. I
Yeah, I like I said, I was a little surprised by it and taken aback. Really even to get Grogu in this season, like I was like, okay, this can't be the last time that we see him, but I didn't think that we were going to see him so soon. So soon, in fact, that it would be in one of the episodes in the Book of Boba Fett. Um, I was totally content with waiting quite a while to see him again. But
mm,
to get him and Luke and Ahsoka and to have the choice presented to Grogu to choose
mm,
between the the chainmail armor and the cutest little lightsaber you have ever seen.
mm.
And he chooses Mando, and like I'll be on like part of me wishes that he would have stayed with Luke because just imagine how fucking powerful he could become under the tutelage of Luke Skywalker.
And I think that's the point, right? I think that's the dilemma they want to present to the viewer. So
Hmm.
my guess is our Grogu isn't done with his Jedi training yet. No way. No way.
Sure.
In the role
Yeah.
he's going to play moving forward, he's going to be the thing moving forward. He's going to be the key moving forward. That's my guess.
Yeah, he'll probably just, hop on YouTube, watch a couple videos on, how to use the Force in 10 days or something like that. And
And watch
then,
the video of that kid with the lightsaber backstage when he's like swinging it around. He
yeah,
falls over. Yeah.
when when Grogu and um I can't remember her name. Let's see. I do have it's Amy Sedaris's character. Peli Moto. I can't. I don't know if it's Peli or Peli. Um, but yeah, her and then Grogu show up on that like speeder bike kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
the final episode, and Grogu just like jumps out of his like little carriage to like give him a hug, and I was like, oh god,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
just tears of joy. I was like, oh my god, it's the family reunion that
I
I didn't know I needed.
know. As someone with a toddler, I was like, my baby.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
it warmed this cold dead heart of mine.
I know. Yeah. See, just such good writing. So good. Oh, hang on.
Um,
David's fixing his camera.
no, I just had to. My computer charger was hanging out of the socket. I had to push it in there. Push it real good. Uh,
Can't have a hangy charger.
No, you cannot. Let's see. What else do we got here?
One thing that I found, the bike gang that he befriends who are on like their Power Rangers themed bikes, like the red, the green,
The
the
modders.
blue, the modders. Yeah,
Hmm.
I according to a video that I watched, and this is strictly conjecture, but did you
Hmm.
find anything about what that was based on?
What do you mean? Just their whole deal?
Their whole vibe, their whole thing.
Um, no, but I dig it. I dig it a
Well,
lot. Like,
apparently, this is like just something that happened over in Britain in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. I think there were these two youth subcultures called the rockers and the mods, or modders, I think, rockers and the mods. And they
okay,
would actually ride around on scooters or bikes that had similar aesthetics, like different colors and all these fucking mirrors all over it and stuff like that. So
hmm,
that I think that's like, if you look
it
at
was
pictures on like
inspiration.
Wikipedia, yeah, like if you it that's exactly what it looks like to me.
Huh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so and they were actually called the mods, and that's what they were called in this. So fun fact, I again that's conjecture, but to
Sure.
me that makes sense. So
Yeah, kind of talking about that, and at the same time going back to the whole like time hopping thing. I loved how it kind of like crescendoed to um Boba Fett coming across Fennec Shand and and her
mhm,
basically on death's door, and
right.
he's like, I know exactly where to take her, and you take her to this place that we're totally unfamiliar with. They're like, what the hell are they going to do? And they basically build her into, a part cyborg. um
Yeah, which I
and
thought she needed a much longer recovery time after that. I know it's the future, I know it's sci-fi, but whoa.
uh whatever. That didn't really bother me. I mean,
I was like,
they
okay, she's a cyborg now. I'm like, dude, that's like 6 months bed rest. I don't know. Like, there's no way.
they got metal parts. They got the floaty tanks, whatever that the Bacta tanks. They got all
I
kinds of
guess.
healing stuff.
I
So
guess reading
yeah,
too much into it.
yeah. Speaking of the Bacta tank, so there's so much that we're not going to be able to cover everything, but um, so we got Cad Bane. He shows up, and this guy is
Hmm.
fucking terrifying. He is like evil Clint Eastwood or
Oh,
just Clint
the blue
Eastwood.
guy with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um he sh-
terrifying,
yeah,
terrifying.
super scary, and he wins the quick draw
Yeah,
against what's his name? Timothy Oliphant's character.
yeah. Marshall. I forget what his name is.
Um yeah, anyways. Did you think that he was dead? Because I did not.
Well,
I
they lead you to believe that, right?
Yeah, but like he gets shot once, and then
In the
he
shoulder.
lights. I can't remember exactly where he gets shot, but
He gets. It's like a flesh wound. It's in the shoulder,
yeah.
but then he
So
fucking lights up the deputy like
yeah,
10 times.
he lights him up like the 4th of July. I was like, okay, well that guy is not going to be in the Book of Boba Fett too. Um,
Right,
but
but he just
this
fucking
guy,
wings. He fucking wings the marshal, but then at the attack on the town there at the big finale, he's not there, and
right?
and we're told that he was gunned down in cold blood. So is he dead? Is he not dead? I don't know.
Right. Well, there's your recovery time right there. You were asking for to see some recovery time. Well,
Well,
there's your
yeah, the
recovery
dude got
time right there.
fucking winged. She had her entire fucking midsection replaced with some fucking AutoZone parts. I'm just saying, she's up and walking around at full
Okay.
speed,
Well,
and he gets winged. He's not at the finale. The goddamn Wookiee got stabbed, shot, beat up, bit. I think
that's
he
that's a
and that
Wookiee.
dude and that dude just kept coming. Which
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Right.
just
Exact.
saying.
Well, okay, so here's something. About a year and a half ago, my dad had both of his knees replaced at the same time,
Okay.
and after he came out of anesthesia after the surgery,
Okay.
an
Get me a
hour
soccer ball.
later, an hour later, he was up and walking around.
Jesus, really?
Yeah. And they wanted it that way. They were like, you will be able to walk around about an hour after you come out of anesthesia, as soon as you would, like, if you didn't have knee surgery, like, as soon as you think you'd be ready to, like, not in your hazy state, and you'd be able to, like, get up and
Okay.
walk around, like, that's when we want you, because we want to make sure that everything is working correctly, that your artificial knees are working, and that and we need to get that range of motion going as soon as possible. When I heard that, I was like, "Jeez, are those doctors like trying to kill you?" But uh,
Okay.
apparently that's just the way it goes. So if you get placed by, I guess that's the one of the pros of getting replaced with metal parts and becoming part cyborg.
I
Is that
guess. I
it
don't know.
cuts the recovery time. And plus you get like interchangeable parts, like the good Mr. Ford intended. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm personally I'm looking forward to the day where I can cut off my arm and have a gun for an arm. Like, I'm not even that into guns, but can you imagine just like getting cut off in traffic and be like, "What was that, motherfucker?" And like you have like this T-1000, like just a, a prodder.
For cattle prod. As someone who had his balls operated on and walked out of that office, I guess I shouldn't say anything. But
Sure. Yeah, there you go. That's another. I
no
mean,
kidding.
it's not your entire midsection like Finnick, but
Pretty
um,
important though. I feel
pretty
like
important. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I guess. Yeah. Um. So what else? We just briefly touched on Cad Bane, and the fact that he's terrifying. Do you think he's dead? I watched a video today that was the guy voiced his personal opinion about how he didn't think that he was dead. Maybe he was
Mm,
just hoping that he wasn't dead because he really likes the character. But I like, apparently when he didn't used to have that metal plate on his head. I think that happened in the Clone Wars. So he used to just be all like blue up top,
okay.
and the black metal plate under his hat is an addition. So he is also modded.
So
Um,
the hat was a style choice. He's got a plate under there.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
look closely, I think that is the reason for those two tubes going into the side
Okay.
of his face.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
See,
think
I
I
didn't know
could
that.
be, yeah, I could be speaking out of turn, but
So there's conjecture that he's not dead because he seemed
possibly,
pretty
yeah.
dead.
It did, but if he is modded, which I mean, like, it seems like he is. The guy was talking about how he might have some sort of like tracker chip to alert someone that he is on death's door and that he needs to get somewhere. So, um, you know,
Maybe
it's
the way that Disney's moving forward with the new characters, it leads me to believe that they're gonna axe this one and move forward with something else. Like that
mhm,
was like the big wrap up for that character and his role because he wasn't just in Book of Boba Fett in these few episodes. Like he came from the Clone Wars and the graphic novels and stuff like that. So
right.
he's had a run. So the way Disney's been exploring new material, it wouldn't surprise me if he was done. Again, casual fan, I'm not devoted to the lore, but that's my guess. I'd say he's done ski.
Right. Um, Also, we need to talk about the Rancor,
Oh, that's
and
so cool.
and
Fucking
Danny
ride in that
Trejo's
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny Trejo's like small cameo.
He's depressed. Okay, Danny.
He's depressed.
Okay, Danny.
I swear to God, like a Rancor Wrangler is the perfect
So
role for
good.
Danny Trejo.
So good.
Shit. Have you ever seen the movie Machete?
Oh yeah, long time ago. Long time ago.
Machete.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very grindhouse B movie.
I saw him on that wheeling the fucking Rancor out on that anti-gravity sled, and I was like, of course it's
Mhm.
Danny Trejo. Of course it's Danny Trejo.
Yeah, I
So
heard
good.
that he was going to be in the show and play a small role. I just didn't know when. I didn't really look too deep into it. So when I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, Danny, get that Rancor in there." Um, I would have liked to see a little bit more with the Rancor in the between time. Because it was odd just getting that one scene of him like
I
you
want to
know.
ride it.
Yeah, and then the next time you see the Rancor, he's literally riding him into battle. And I was like, whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter that much, but it would have been nice to get a little bit of like maybe like a Rocky Four training montage.
Something of yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a little bit of that, but it didn't break my heart. Um, I did think it was a little not odd, but like I wasn't expecting. So the Rancor was like they would have been fucked without him, without a doubt.
Sure, sure.
And he was like going gangbusters on those. Oh shit, what are they called? They're kind of
Oh, those
the
big asteroids with the
yeah
like super strong blasters. I don't know
the
what you call those.
Scorpionic droids, I believe, is what they're called. But the Rancor was really the Rancor and Grogu were like the only ones that were able to like do anything about it. But then Cad Bane comes along with his fire, and the Rancor is like, "Oh shit," and
Yeah.
just like goes crazy on the town.
So when Danny Trejo's character is explaining to uh Boba Fett, he says the witches of insert name used to ride these, or it's
Mhm.
rumored, or it's a legend that the witches of whoever this was
Yeah.
used to ride these. And there's actually another property coming out, I think that might even predate the prequels, if I
Okay.
remember right. And there was speculation on something that I watched that we might actually see that play out, or that aspect. Whoever these
I would be
again,
excited for that.
I'm a casual fan. I can't remember what he said, and I didn't take notes on it. But the witches of whatever used to ride these goddamn things.
Hmm.
So that would be kind of fun.
Right. Yeah,
Fun,
for sure.
just fun little tidbit that we might look forward to in
Yeah.
future properties coming out.
Yeah, definitely. Um, let's see. So we covered the Rancor. I don't know. Let's see. How are we doing on time? Oh boy. Yeah, we're getting there.
About
Um,
an hour.
yeah, let's start wrapping things up so we can get to our shit that doesn't suck segments. So final thoughts, and if you want to throw out a letter grade or a star value or a gold star or silver medal or
No, I don't know. Like it's like a 1 to 10 thing. Nothing deserves a 10, of course. Although I freely give out tens all the time.
yeah, I like the 1 to 10 scale. I feel
I
like
do too.
the 1 to 5 stars, like
Yeah, it
it
doesn't. It
feels
doesn't.
so condensed, like
Yeah, it doesn't give you enough.
because I feel like 3.5 stars kind of sounds shitty, but
Yeah, it
four
is.
stars is like, I mean, that's next to perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So
don't,
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
say if I had to put it at a 10, 8 to 8.5, like
Okay.
very good. Like I almost a 9. Like I don't want to give anything a 10. Nothing really deserves a 10 in my opinion, unless it like
Hmm.
floors me or I have like a spiritual experience watching it or something. But
Right.
it really is that good in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be a diehard fan. If you are a diehard fan, I'd love to hear your opinion on how it doesn't do you service. But
Mhm.
is for somebody just coming into it, 8.5, 9 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah. I think I'll give it a solid 8. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool that each episode kind of it furthered the plot and the story, but it also it did what the Mandalorian did, where they had a couple guest directors like Robert Rodriguez. I believe he directed the majority of the episodes,
Hmm.
but they had Bryce Dallas Howard come and direct at least one of the episodes. Who is, I mean, she's great in her own right, but like as a director, she is amazing. Like she did a couple episodes of The Mandalorian, and I think she's coming back to do more of The Mandalorian, and I am all for that. Any episode she directs, I'll be there front and center right away. She does an amazing job, and I think she's the one that directed the Mandalorian episode of the Book of Boba Fett, where it's just the Mandalorian.
Okay.
Um, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this, and I thought it was an amazing addition to the overall Star Wars catalog, and um, yeah, I'm ready for more Star Wars stuff. Whenever they want to give it to me, I will take it gladly. So yeah, shall we get to our shit that doesn't suck?
Yeah, boy.
Shit that doesn't suck.
Let me think of what I've been watching. Gemstones, Avi. I've been watching Gilded Age still. If you're into like the Downton Abbey vibe and shows like that, it's a good
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm into it. What else am I watching right now? Hmm. I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, my trash TV, Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't think of anything new I'm into right now. So I got nothing.
No serial killer documentaries or
No,
no movies or anything.
no, that's the wife's thing. No, I'm not into that.
Gotcha.
She loves the true crime stuff. I can't get into it.
It's man, it's a girl's thing. I know guys are into it too, but it is right now in terms of a contemporary medium. It is through and through a girl's thing. I'm
It
not
does
trying to
seem to be.
generalize. I'm not trying to generalize, but it is just an observation that
Yeah, it does
ladies
seem to be.
they love it, and it makes sense. It's good prepping. Get into the mind of a serial killer so you can anticipate the general moves of fucking creepy dudes. You got to protect your own, and I respect that. So
I forget what comedian said. The number one threat to women is men. So-
I know Dave Chappelle had a funny skit where he was like, where he said something like that. He's like, you know what the number one threat to men is? Salt, just regular ass table salt. It's our own hearts just being like, man, I can't take much more of this shit.
It might have been John Mulaney. I can't remember who had that joke.
Yeah,
But
maybe. Yeah, he's a funny motherfucker too.
mhm.
Anyway, so my shit that doesn't suck is the two Jurassic World movies. The one with Chris Pratt.
Mhm.
Or the ones with Chris Pratt, sorry. So I went to McKay's this past weekend. For those of you not local to the Nashville, Tennessee area, It's just a very large used books and mixed media mega store. It's very big.
Yeah.
And if you want to go, it's a great time. I suggest you go any time except for Saturday afternoon, which is when I went.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be packed, but the in-laws took the kids for the weekend, so we're like, fuck it, let's go. It'll be chaotic, but at least we won't have the kids with us. So we went, and I remembered that I wanted to revisit those movies because I was anticipating the Jurassic World Dominion trailer, and I hadn't seen either movie in quite a while. So I picked them up. They were like $7 each on Blu-ray, score, and rewatched them recently, the last couple of days or so. And I gotta be honest, I really enjoy them. Are they perfect? No, far from it. But they're a lot of fun. They're like silly dinosaur movies. And I love them for that fact. And it gets me excited for the final Jurassic World installment. So yeah, that is my shit that does not suck. So Zach, you got anything else before we peace out this bitch?
I don't think so.
Word. Awesome. Well, audience, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, as all those fucking YouTubers put it. Smash that subscribe button, trying to be funny, but really they're just like, please subscribe to my channel so I can eventually make money at this, which is exactly what we are saying. So we are part of the cool gang. Leave us a rating and review where applicable. That is basically Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher. 1 star or 5 stars. None of this middle of the road bullshit. You commit to the bit. God damn it. Let's see. What am I forgetting, Zach? Etsy shop.
Patreon. It's
Patreon.
$3. You're never gonna miss $3, and it helps out.
$2 and $5.
$2, really?
It's we got a $2 tier and a $5
$2. You're never gonna miss $2.
Never.
Just sign up.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Help us out. You get some good stuff along with that. You're never gonna miss $2.
Never. And you get some cool perks. You get to be in our private Facebook group and Discord channel, where we throw some fun topics your way. You get a heads up on the month ahead of all the episodes that we're going to do. You also get to pick out an episode for us to do. We recently covered a short animated film that was
a fever dream.
Basically, it was like Straczynski and the
Mysterious House.
I was about to say the multicolored jacket or something. Jesus in the multicolored, technicolored dream jacket. I'm mixing like 5 different musicals.
The Technicolor multi-dream house.
Yes, that's it. Straczynski and the Mysterious House, I think is what it's called. It's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
I actually really enjoyed that. That was actually fun for me.
You sick bastard.
That was actually pretty fun for me to watch.
This is the guy that just willingly got their tubes tied.
Yeah. Because I'm into it.
Yeah. Pain for pleasure. So yeah, that's gonna do it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Be kind, stay geeky, and eat lots of cheesecake. Bye.
Love y'all.